I'm Mike Deacon and I run my own business and finance consultancy as a portfolio business. My speciality is actually providing a range of services as a generalist. So I provide services for interim and project management. I also arrange commercial finance, and I also help companies who are looking to buy or sell their businesses or have other issues that they need dealing with. A portfolio consultant is really someone who is able to cover a wide range of business issues, from strategic planning through to specific areas such as change management or specific projects that require management, or more importantly, businesses often have issues with regard to finding funds. That's a big issue at the moment. So that's one of the areas that I particularly specialise in at this moment in time. Where am I going? What the hell am I doing? Have I got a market? Do I have clients that want to stay with me? How do I gain more business? The list is endless. Often for the larger businesses, they're quite well organised, but for the smaller owner-managed businesses or entrepreneurs, very often they don't have someone to talk to. So you tend to find that they ask questions that they hitherto may not have thought of or dare ask. Yeah, it's really to know where they're going, know where their focus is, and then to link that to managing their finances and managing their cash flow. Both private and public sector based organisations, and by that I mean that I work with a lot of smaller SMEs, and I've done so for over 30 years, but more recently I've expanded that into working with public sector or public sector facing organisations, whether they be government departments or companies which are called social enterprises, which are third sector companies, which are a hybrid private public type of organisation. They have the benefits of public ownership, but they operate like a private company business. I add value to the client by enabling them to see the best ways forward, whether that be a marketing strategy, whether that be a business development strategy, whether it's a change management strategy. It suits each company's circumstances, whatever they may be, and sometimes those circumstances may be a multiple complex issue, a set of issues, or they could be something very simple. I helped set up a public health consultancy as a social enterprise for a group of ex-NHS employees that had been made redundant in the last wave of cuts in 2007. And from scratch we effectively set a company up and won a large government contract for them within the space of 6 months of establishment, which has helped them sustain the business without debt and has generated a lot of cash. So they've been very successful, and despite the more recent announcement of cuts across all public sector departments, they are still able to provide a valuable service and not lose the benefit of their expertise through redundancy by their former employers. For me, I would say that I can provide an answer or a set of solutions to any given problem that a client may have. Typical engagement with a new client would be where they have identified a specific task or a specific requirement or project that needs managing, and what they would like to do is to effectively have a beginning, a middle and an end. So they would like to see a project through based on the strategy that they've scoped out, and often clients don't scope very well, and so they need some help in scoping what they need. So the initial engagement is to ensure that we've got the brief right. Once the brief is right and the client's happy, then we engage the process and I take them through a scenario where I give them a structured solution, and if they're comfortable with that, then we go ahead with that solution. For me, is being able to be honest about a situation with a client. Clients don't really want to hear statements which make them feel good. They actually want some honesty. So sometimes, whilst it's painful, telling the honest truth straight to them is actually often the best way of getting the right response. And it also allows the client to engage by owning the proposition. So for them, if they hear an unpalatable response, at least they've heard it, and then it's up to them to be honest enough to say, actually you're right, or maybe I should change, or perhaps I don't agree with you, and move on. Everyone's different, but honesty I think is the best way. They do in the current climate. It is a very difficult climate to raise finance of any sort, whether it be from the high street banks or from other non-traditional sources. And what I can offer through my experience is a range of places to find different forms of finance, whether it be traditional bank lending, whether it be specialist lending from niche hedge funds or private investors, through to instruments such as invoice finance or asset finance and leasing or trade finance. I have a range of skills and a range of clients and a range of people in my networks that I've amassed over many years, where I can usually find something that will be suited and best fitting a particular client's requirements and needs. The sort of size of company that I work with varies from the very small owner-manager, sole trader or a partnership business to companies which are multi-million or multi-billion pound conglomerates that trade here and abroad. There's no particular sector that I specialise in, but I'm very keen to ensure that each client has a particular need in terms of its finance requirement that I can identify and link. And usually it has to be for a business need. It's either to sustain or grow or evolve a business. Occasionally there are companies that need to be refinanced and rescued, and then I can work with investors and new shareholders that potentially might be interested in particular organisations that require that assistance. So it can be for business development, it can be for growth, it could be for restructuring, or any sort of circumstance that the client has a need for new or additional monies, or to maybe refinance existing monies.